Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we're going to be doing something quite exciting. So what we'll be building is we're building a chatbot that we can interact with, and we'll be using some machine language concepts or technologies, right? So today what we're going to be doing is we will be using a library called Scikit, right? So Scikit-Learn. Yeah, I've recently just learned about it myself. So let's check it out and try to build this chatbot using it. So first things first, when we dive into VS Code, we should install it. So we need to install. So let's install. So it's Scikit-Learn NLTK. So let's try to install this. Right, so after we've installed successfully, what we can now do is we can start to create our questions. So let's come here and let's make a new file. Let's call it data.py. So these will be our questions that we're going to use to run our script, right? It's going to be automatically generated. So let's use a list of questions. So we have let's use small letters. So we have hello. So we'll have a list of questions and a list of answers. So hello, or someone might say hi, and maybe a question like how are you? And someone might ask, what is Python? So just like basic stuff. And when you wanna add it, end the chat, you can just say goodbye, or they might just say bye. Okay, let's leave it like this. So these are the questions, and we can have a list of answers. So as we have questions, we should have answers that are going to be relating to the questions. So it's important that we have sort of like an answer for each and every question. So these are the answers. So it's going to be a list of answers. So when someone says hello, should respond with hello, how are you, right? So it's a question. It's an answer to the question. And when someone says hi, since we have an hi there, we can say hi there. What can I do you, or what can I do for you? And what else do we have? We have a how are you? We can have a response for that, and maybe say I'm doing great. How can I help? Right? So we have a question saying what is Python? We can answer that by saying that Python is a popular programming language, right? can say used for AI and web dev. Right, so you get the concept of what is it that we are trying to do here, right? So this is not as important, but what's important is we need a question and we need an answer. So a set of questions and a set of answers to those questions is what I am getting at. Let's just finish the whole thing. After what is Python, we have goodbye. So we can just get an answer to that and just say goodbye. And if they say bye, you can just say see you later. Okay, so we have our set of questions and our set of answers. That's all we need for our data.py. So now we need to have another file. Let's call this chatbot.py. So this is where the magic is going to happen, right? Let me just clear this here. Okay, so now we're going to actually start to write our code that is going to actually take our questions, our set of questions and answers, and combine them using a machine learning chatbot, you know. So let's just go on. So we have to import some things right now. So we're going to import something called NLTK. So this is going to be used for basic text processing, right? So we're going to import that. So import NLTK. I think I got that right, hopefully. NLTK. And we're going to import NumPy. So what NumPy basically does is it helps us to work with numbers and arrays. They use it mostly for data structures. Not data. What's it called? Those that work with large data science, data analytics, and so forth. Yeah. So we'll use that to work with the numbers and the arrays. And we'll also need to import something called Scikit-Learn, you know, the one that we just installed in the beginning. So we'll have to convert the text into some numerical vectors so that we can be able to deal with it. So let's import Scikit-Learn. So we need the features, some features, underscore extraction text, and we're going to be using the TFID F vector. All right, so if you want to learn more about Scikit-Learn, I think you should actually dive deep into the documentation where it explains each and everything, how they use it and what it's used for. Okay, so now we'll have to measure how similar the sentences are. So to measure the sentences, the question and the answer, we'll have to use something called cosine or cosine, you know. So we'll have to import this from Scikit-Learn. Okay, so it's part of the metrics. Where we pair things. So import the cosine. Okay. And lastly, the most important thing is our questions and answers. So we should import that also. So from our data, we should import the questions and our answers. Okay, so far so good. Now let's move on. So now what we're going to do is we're going to download something called a tokenizer, right? So this is going to be the data that we're going to use. That's going to be used by our NLP tools. So let's go on and get our NLTK and download something called I think it's PUNKT, right? Yeah, should be correct. And that should be it. I think this is fine. Now what we need to do is we need to start to convert our text into vectors. So this is where we're going to create a vectorizer, and this will turn words into numbers based on the importance of it. So we'll need our vector. Let's have a placeholder here for vector, and we'll just store our function here so we can use it, because now we're going to need to fit the vectorizer on our own questions, right? And after doing that, we have to convert them into some numerical vectors so we can be able to use them. So let's create a variable called question vector or vectors. So now we're going to get the vectorizer and we're going to fit in our questions. So fit transform questions. So we're passing through our questions through this vectorizer so it can turn it into some numerical vectors. So now that we have that, we need to create our function where we can get the response, right? So we have our user input. So essentially, let me just do this. So this function is going to do 4 things. So number 1, this function is going to convert our user input into a vector. Number 2, this is going to compare it to all our known questions, right? Number 3, this is going to find the most similar questions. And lastly, we're going to return the matching answer. Okay, now that we have those steps, so first things first is we have to convert our user input into our vector. So let's create a variable called user vector and set this into our vectorizer. Okay, so we're going to transform this. Transform. We're going to get our user input. So when a user inputs whatever it is that they're going to input, it will be transformed via our vector transformer. Okay, essentially that's what this means. So now we need to compare. So our second step is to compare it to all our questions. So we have a similar similarity. So remember, we're going to use coefficient similarity to compare if the questions and the answers are the same. So what we're going to use is we're going to get our user vector and we're going to compare it with our question vector. Okay, just like that. And number 3 is we're going to get the index of the most similar question, so the best match. So best match is equals to np dot the max one, and we're going to get the similarity of it. Right. And lastly, if the similarity is too low, then the bot is not going to be confident, right? So we should do something about that. So if our similarity is low, like 0, and okay, same with our best match, they both lower than 0.2, then we should return something. We should return, sorry, I don't understand that question yet. Okay, it should just return that. Otherwise, it should just return our answer. Okay, I hope you guys are still with me. I know this is a lot, but trust me, okay, trust me, because now we're going to like just loop everything up and print it. So let's print out Chatbot is running. So you can just type exit to quit. Okay, so that's good. And now we'll have a while loop. So while everything is true, while this is running, then we should get our input. So we should get our input here. So our input will be from our user input. We'll just get input. We'll just say u. Okay, so this will get our input. This will prompt our user to put in something, and everything must be in lowercase. So we need that input, and we need a way to exit everything. So we just use a if statement. So if our user input says exit, for an example, then we should print out that our bot will just say goodbye, and it should end. So just break it there. Otherwise, we'll just get generate and print the chatbot response, basically. So now we're going to response, get our response, and we'll get our user input inside our response, and we'll just print out this is what the bot is going to say. Let's put this. So the bot is going to have our response here. Okay, so that's just it. So let's save this and let's try and run it. Hopefully it will start. So Python chatbot.py, we have a error here. Import. Oh, yeah. We should. So from. Okay, there we go. Now let's start it up and see. We should get our response. Import error, Scikit-Learn metrics pairwise. Okay, I think it's cosine, just like this, right? There you go. Right, so after fixing up some spelling errors because I was just typing fast, I actually struggle with typing and explaining at the same time, but you know, we'll get there. So I fixed the spelling errors. I had spellings while importing the Scikit-Learn, so I fixed that, and I fixed a couple of other spellings also. So after fixing that, as you can see here, our bot is now running, right? So we can just say hi, and we'll give back our response. Hi there, what can I do for you, right? And what is Python? And it will give us an explanation of what is Python. Python is a popular programming language used for AI and web dev, right? And if we say bye, it will just say see you later, and if we exit, it will end. So yeah, basically this is me and you learning more about machine learning concepts. As you can see, it's quite a handful of things to understand and grasp, but once you do understand it, then it's easier from there, right? So join me in this road of learning machine learning and how to use it, right? Because I think this is like a game changer. Imagine if you can actually implement this to a business where they always ask similar questions and they want similar answers. You can just create this for your own business or for someone else's business and automatically generate responses to their questions, right? To the client's questions. But yeah, man, that's it. Catch you on the next video. Feel free to like, subscribe, and comment.